Hello Minecraft Maniacs, it's the Frog Queen here, and today we're going to be working with one of my favorite blocks. Yes, today we're talking all about Nylium, the lovable, colorful block added to Minecraft in the 1.16 Nether update. However, many people still don't know just how useful this block is, and many of the early tutorials and farms involving this block are now out of date. So I'm going to show you my latest and greatest tips and tricks as of the most recent Minecraft update 1.16.4. I'm going to change your Minecraft experience with 3 simple Nylium tips, which will guarantee you unlimited warped and crimson wood with all the little lovable fungi and nether plants that go with it. So this video is going to show you how to do this with 3 separate farming techniques that any noob can pull off. So your very first big tip is that you can get more Nylium with bone meal. That's right, all you have to do is put some netherrack next to some Nylium, doesn't matter which kind, either warped or crimson, and then sprinkle some of that beautiful bone meal on top, and blammo, you got another piece of Nylium. But hey, you just don't want to sit there all day and spend forever turning netherrack into Nylium. That's boring. This is the Frog Queen you're talking to, so we're going to try and automate as much of this as we possibly can, and the easiest way to do this is using 1 observer, 1 dispenser, and a couple pieces of redstone. It's very simple, just like this. So you'll notice that the Nylium transfers to the netherrack even while the original piece is sitting at a diagonal. It doesn't need to be touching the netherrack. And you just take your pickaxe in one hand and your netherrack in the other and spam the mouse back and forth, back and forth. Of course, this also works on Bedrock and Pocket Edition, but it'll be a little bit slower because you won't be able to spam the mouse button back and forth, left and right real fast. Don't forget, you need to have a silk touch pickaxe in order to pick up Nylium. Otherwise, you're just wasting all that bone meal and getting nothing back but netherrack. So how about on to tip number 2? You can bone meal the Nylium to make fungi and nether plants. This is super easy, of course, but it wouldn't be any fun if we had to sit there all day doing it all by ourselves. No, for this we can build a fully automatic fungi making machine. For those of you who like step-by-step instructions and screenshots and reading things and slowing things down, I've already written an amazing article all about this stuff at NoobForce, so you just have to go to noobforce.net to read the article. I'll link the specific article down below in the description of this video. But here's a little bit about how the mechanics of this farm works. This farm uses a 0-tick pulse made from 2 observers looking directly at each other, passing a signal back and forth. When the observer attached to the dispenser catches the signal, it will trigger the dispenser. The dispenser repeatedly fires bone meal on the Nylium from the bottom of the block, which will then cause the fungi and nether plants to grow. A 3rd observer on top will be looking directly at the top of the Nylium, and it will update every time plants grow. The observer will then push a pulse to the piston, which will break the plants, and the plants will then be collected by a hopper and sent into a chest below. Step 1. Place a dispenser with the mouth facing upwards and put an observer next to it facing you. Then place another observer looking directly into the initial observer, and you will hear the dispenser fire repeatedly. Break the 2nd observer and save it for later. It's just going to annoy you. It's going to be kind of loud and obnoxious. Next, step 2, place a warped or crimson Nylium block on top of the dispenser. You will need to hold shift in order to do this if you're playing Java. Just crouch and place. Step 3, place 1 temporary block on top of the first observer and then place another observer directly on top of the temporary block with its face looking at the Nylium. Step 4, put down any 4 building blocks around the Nylium to the back of the observer. We're going to be using this to place our redstone. And then step 5, place the piston facing one side of the Nylium as shown on that ledge we've just created. And we want to place a lever on the block directly under the piston, and that is to turn the machine on and off. Now connect the piston and the observer, this is step 6 by the way, with redstone dust, just all the way along the back like that. Step 7 is we place a chest at the bottom of the farm on one side of the Nylium with a hopper going directly into the chest. You will need to hold shift in order to do this if you're in Java, or crouch if you're playing Bedrock or PE. So the last few steps, we're just going to encase that whole top part in glass so that we make sure that we don't lose any of our drops, that they're all going to go straight into the hopper and into the chest for us to collect. And then we're going to put that second observer back just like this, and then we're done. That's it. And you can dress this up any old way you like. You can make this fit into your build to look pretty, but this is the basic stuff. This is how you do it, how it works, so that you can have unlimited fungi and nether plants for your decorations and building needs. And finally, now that you have all that Nylium and fungi, you can make trees, which brings us to the third and final tip. Tip number 3, you can bone meal warped and crimson fungi to make trees. Simply place the fungi on the corresponding Nylium, warped fungi on warped Nylium, crimson fungi on crimson Nylium, and bone meal it. The trees will grow at randomized sizes, and sometimes it does take more than one piece of bone meal to grow the tree. This is the part that I personally find is best to do all manually. There's a lot of automated tree farms, but they're not completely automatic. So for me, they're just not that useful, and they use a lot of resources in Minecraft. So I still harvest all of my trees manually. In my opinion, that's the most effective if you have an efficiency 5 enchantment on your axe. And of course, you're going to want an efficiency 5 enchantment on a hoe. I like to call this the hoe with the no, and bam, you are in the nether tree business, my friend. Now you can flex on all the other noobs on your server and sell them that sweet nether supplies for all kinds of goodies like diamonds. So what's the one thing you suddenly realize you need after learning all this? You need an automatic composter because you need a lot of bone meal, but you're in luck. All that warped and warped wood block that comes from the trees, the stuff that is supposed to be like a leaf block, well, all that stuff can go straight into the composter and keep you in bone meal indefinitely. Kelp farms are a thing of the past. This is a self-sustaining system. And right here, what I'm building, this is an automatic composter, and it's probably one of the first things you should build in a survival world if you intend to do a lot of farming, which you kind of have to do in a survival world. So this is my last little bonus farm of this video. All these things work together to give you all of the warped and crimson wood your hearts could ever desire. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to comment in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this video and what you like about these farms, if there's any way that you would improve them for your own personal use. Thank you so much again, everybody, and until next time, keep farming, keep mining, and have fun.